Becky's under the weather, so I will be acting clerk,
You?
if I can remember how to do it.
Well, you should.
Roll call. Jim's absent. Jason?
Yep.
Mike?
Here.
Joey?
Yep.
And me. And Mark is here tonight. All right. Need a motion to accept the minutes from the April 24th, 2024 regular town board meeting.
I'll go ahead and make that motion to accept the minutes into record from the April 24th, 24 regular town board meeting.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Uh, Financial report, you all have it there. Still earning interest, hooray, hooray. And persons addressing our board, we don't have anyone scheduled. Public comment, any, Lori?
First of all, Mark, I have a question for you. You know when you'll be sweeping Wolford King Road so I can wash my windows?
Yeah, as soon as I get a sweeper.
Huh?
As soon as I get a sweeper, we'll be sweeping the roads.
Because I usually wait to wash my windows till after you're done,
I know.
because otherwise I'll be doing it twice.
We're waiting.
Yep.
We're
We should be getting that piece of equipment.
hopefully.
I mean, the paperwork's all done, it's just a matter of, I mean, Cody should be calling you tomorrow, probably.
Well, if he does, hopefully we get the machine next week and we can actually start our sweeping.
Any word on those guardrails that I talked about last month?
I sent Carl Weiss an email telling him the situation, and
Okay.
I haven't heard back from him,
So I
so.
talked to Larry Minkler, and he said the town is the one that put those in, when they redid put the bridge out with the box culvert in. So. Okay, another thing that's come to light. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
We do have a nepotism rule in this
Mhm.
town,
We do.
and it seems like a lot of people on the payroll and the new hire all goes against, that's all out the window.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Billy works for me alone. She is, let me
She's
finish.
related to Mark.
She is my confidential secretary. She does not report to anybody else.
She's related to Mark. Okay?
Right?
I can't say anything about her husband because he's elected, but she's related to Mark.
So, Mark's
Okay?
elected too. The nepotism policy says that if somebody is related to somebody else, they cannot be in their line of supervision, and they cannot have any say on whether they get promoted or what their pay is.
Can I get a copy of that, please?
You want to foil it?
You want me to foil it?
Yep.
Why? It's public record.
And how do you get public records? You foil them. So, write me a letter, and we'll have it to you.
Okay. I hope everybody else has to foil to get what they want too.
I think, so look, I think we need to talk a little openly about that. To Debbie's point, and to your point, you threw out the first little barb about nothing to do against Jason, he's elected. And Debbie made it very clear to Lori that that gentleman sitting in the orange shirt is also elected. We take the nepotism policy very seriously. We've had issues with it in the past. It was a discussion with this board to understand fully what the ramification was and what would be the ripple in the pond once we decided that it was going to be really getting elected. So it wasn't just off the cuff. This wasn't just the whim and said, let's just do this. Who the hell cares what anybody else says? We take that stuff very, very seriously. So listen, I'm glad you brought it up. Thank you for bringing it up. It goes to show that we have concerned citizens within our community that wants to make sure that we're doing everything the right way. And I'll tell you, we are. It was, again, we went to executive session about this situation, and, you know, it just came down that who was the best qualified person for the job?
We advertised it on One Work Source, we advertised it with the county, we advertised it on our website. We got the people that applied, we had about 6 people who applied. As soon as they found out it was part-time and they weren't getting benefits, 4 of them left. The one person that didn't refuse it was very underqualified. So, Billy was the best
I
qualified,
excluded myself out of the whole decision, so I know
Yeah.
I'm doing that.
Yeah, I
and,
respect that.
and she does not report to anyone, and no one can tell her what to do except for me.
I understand that, but it seems to me, everybody on the payroll is related to somebody on this board some way or
Everybody in
another.
my mountain's related, for God's sake.
Well, who else on the payroll is related to, and we're not talking,
Denise Fortin, through marriage, related to Mike, through marriage. Are you related to anybody in the highway department?
I don't think so.
No?
No.
Is anybody here related to anybody in the highway department through marriage or by blood?
It depends on what, and now,
Oh,
I'm just saying, it specifies, if you're like a third cousin or you're a second cousin removed or whatever, you know, the state law goes to certain degrees. It goes to in-laws, it goes to, parents, children, siblings, and those same things that would be in-laws, so your father-in-law, your sister-in-law, whatever.
well, people don't look kindly of third cousins marrying each other. Usually after third cousin, if it's fourth or fifth, then yeah. But third cousin, they consider close. So,
Well, the state,
Third cousin you consider close? I
the
do not.
state does
Yeah.
not.
State does not. No.
well, families do.
Well, listen, I understand that, but what a family considers blood relationship is one thing. When it comes to running our business on election situations and the board approval is another definition of what's allowed and what's not allowed, Lori. So we are not breaking any rules. We go to the intense degree to make sure that nothing falls on this board for anything that gives us a black eye. We're very serious about what we do. Yes, Billy got hired. Yes, we talked about it. Yes, we had anonymous voting approval that it was the best decision for the board. Yes, Billy report directly to Debbie. So there's no off tangents that are going to sit there and tell us that we did something illegal.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. You want to appoint a highway superintendent after Mark's tenure's done. Hope you're not planning on running. If the people are happy with the highway superintendent, they'll reelect him. If they're not happy with the highway superintendent, they won't. So you're taking the power away from the people.
No,
And yes, you are. And then, hypothetically, you could put in someone that you want and work at the leisure of the board or supervisor, whomever. And if the people don't like them, they're not getting rid of them.
well, first of all, you're wrong on the first count.
I mean, I'm
So,
wrong on the first count. Mark's elected.
no, I'm telling you, the people are gonna decide whether they want an appointed or an elected.
Yeah, but you're not gonna give them the whole scenario. You're just gonna put it, on a vote. I asked you.
Well, why don't you wait?
Wait a minute, I asked
Why don't you wait until we get to that part of this meeting, which, if you look at the agenda, we will be discussing that.
Well, it says public comment, it doesn't say public comment down in there.
Well, I could say no comment, period, and have you sit down, which I think is what I'm gonna do right now.
Why? Why are you being hostile? I'm not being hostile.
Because you're bringing up stuff I gotta discuss later on.
Okay.
So what's your next question? Let's move to your next issue.
I asked the board and you, last year, that why not bring it up to the people that every elected position be every 2 years? That way, more people might tend to get involved if it's 2 years and not 4. And you don't wanna bring it up to the people, but if you have something you want to go through, you're willing to bring it up to the people.
Well, let me tell you something else. There were 10 two-year tenures in this whole county. Only 10. There's a reason for that. In fact, 5 of them no longer exist because Saranac just voted to change their 2-year terms to 4 years because they realized you can't get anything done in 2 years. You can't. I've been working on projects that have been 5 years in the making. There are projects that I started 2 years ago that won't be done when my 4 years is up.
2 more years, yeah.
You cannot have 2-year terms and be effective. If you want to have 2-year terms because you don't want to dedicate 4 years to it, that's one thing. But if you're going to run for an elected position, if you can't dedicate 4 years to it, then you don't deserve to be in the position.
Well,
Because that's how long it takes to even get your feet wet and know what you're doing and be able to be effective and do something for the town and not just have something that you spend 2 years doing whatever. You just
Wow.
can't get stuff done in 2 years.
some people would probably like to be on the board, but they've got families, they work. 4 years out of their life is a very long time. 2
So-
years, they would probably work it.
So I'm gonna challenge that question.
Okay,
So, I've done this, I'm going on my 3rd term, so I've already done my 8 years. In my 8 years, I raised a family. I watched a wife go through chemo and die. And I still, to this day, spent the necessary time to dedicate my time to this community because it's the right thing to do. So I take your comment a very negative way. So,
well, I'm sorry you do, and I commend you for everything that you've done.
because I respect what I do for this community. I lived here my entire life. My family got established here in 1886. And I'll do whatever it takes, whether I'm on the board or off the board, to support the needs and wants of this community.
And my family's been here since the 1850s, so, there's, like I said, there's probably some people that would like to get involved, they're younger. But
Well,
4
then
years is a long
you just
time.
have to set priorities. Jason has 4 kids at home. He's not balking about spending 4 years here.
I'm just saying, this is a small percentage. I'm just, throwing out a hypothetical situation that I've heard that some people would, if it was 2 years, they would run.
That's unfortunate that they
Why
wouldn't.
can't you bring it to the voters? And see what they say, let the voters decide. That's all I'm asking, let the voters decide.
The voters decided years ago because they increased both the clerk and the highway superintendent to 4 years from 2 years several years ago in the 90s
The
because
highway superintendent was done when I was on the board, okay? And that's because he was buddies with Vess. So, Pete used to be 2 terms, and he got switched to 4 when I was on the board. So between 2010 and 2014, that got switched.
I think it was before then.
You can check it. What else do you have, Lauren?
That's it.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Didn't mean to offend you, Joey.
No, listen, you struck a nerve, let me tell you right now. And when you strike a nerve on a point that's near and dear to me, on my commitment to the people of this community,
But I wasn't attacking you.
no, but you made a comment that said, you know what, people got a lot of lives. We do have a lot of lives. I ran a farm, I raised a family, watched my wife get sick, watched her die, watched my father die 2 years ago. Listen, and I still come to every meeting. You know how many meetings I missed in 8 years? 3. 3 meetings, and 1 because I had COVID. 2, and the other 2, I was on vacation.
Well, you know what, if you wanna take it to heart, fine and dandy, but it wasn't directed at you, it wasn't directed at anybody
Well,
on
you
this
know
board.
what?
No, it was not directed to anybody in this board, and I don't appreciate you trying to shout me
You
down.
generalized, and I made it clear on how you're going to generalize.
Okay, let's move on. Resolutions. Motion to approve the May bills. I'm going to read them into record. General fund, $15,139.66. Part-time B fund, $269.97. Highway, $10,058.29. Line Mountain Lights, $1,813.02. Line Mountain Sewer, $55,340.82. Danamore Sewer, $6,383.26. Lime Mountain Water, $1,450.64. Danamore Water, $50. Ledgers Water District, $1,527.32. Trusted Agency, $3,238.36. Total, $95,271.34. So I get a motion for that, please.
I'm gonna make a motion to accept the May 2024 bills as written for the total of $95,271.34.
Second that.
Okay, Jason, one second. Any more discussion? Roll call. Jason?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Joey?
Yep.
Deb? Yes. Okay. Next one, motion to approve the purchase of the Mount High Wheel Loader financed at 0% for 3 years for the total of $68,799.20.
I'll go ahead and make the motion to approve the purchase of the Avante High Wheel Loader, finance at 0% for 3 years for the total amount to be charged $68,799.20.
Second it.
I forgot, I had to take notes. Any more discussion on that? Like I said, we should be getting that. The paperwork's all done. If, I can call Cody tomorrow, you can call him and say when you're bringing it.
Do we have a roll call?
I'm gonna do a roll call, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Any discussion? Roll call, Jason?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Joey? Deb? Yes. Oh. Forgot to click. Now I'll click again. Okay, old business. Water District number 2 update. So we've got AEDA was selected as the engineer for this, to find the solution for that district. Because the government thinks having everything go through portals is a better way to do things. I spent 2 weeks getting into the portal that we need to get the grant to pay for the engineer. Finally got in, they had to snail mail me a code because they couldn't figure out how to get the phone number to work. So that's moving forward. I've got a meeting with them the second week of June to go and look at the district so they can find us, so we can start finding a solution to that freezing water line problem.
Good.
Veterans Park update. Finally got the signed contract from the financial arm of that whole thing this afternoon. So we should be able to start. I've got to check back with LCB, Lake Champlain Basin Program, to make sure they give me the thumbs up that I can actually start the first step. Everything has to be, the date on the contract, nothing can be purchased before then, so, but I want to make sure because we don't want to have receipts that they're not going to reimburse. FEMA update. Let me find that. I had a meeting yesterday with the 2 people from the Department of Homeland Security, that FEMA arm of the Department of Homeland Security. We are ready to proceed. They've just got a few other things they have to check with the engineer that oversaw it and approved the plan to move forward. But they did throw another item at me. They said when FEMA looked at the plan to replace the seals on the gates, and they looked, I'd sent them DEC's inspection and Labella's inspection and all that, and there is on there about other spalling that's along the dam wall that needs to be attended to eventually. None of it is critical, but they said that they have some mitigation funds that if we wanted to take the extra time to get that estimated and whatnot with an engineer, that they would be willing to throw money at us fixing the rest of the spalling on the dam.
We should do
So I said I would had a board meeting and I'd bring it up to everyone.
Yeah. Right thing to do.
So, okay. I'll
You don't
contact,
need anything from us to make that
I just wanted,
process go forward?
no, just I wanted to go, I told them that I needed to talk to the board first before doing that. It's, so what that would involve is, engineer coming out and putting eyes on the various spots, giving us an estimate, or telling us what actually has to be done, and then we get a contractor to give us an estimate, and then it goes through, and they will, we'd be only on the hook for 12.5% of total cost.
Good.
So, you good with that too, Mike?
Good with it.
All right, I'll call them back tomorrow, and, it's kind of like a double thing. They said they want to get these projects moving since last July, but then they said, but we'll also give you money if you can do this other part, so.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
Okay. And sand hauling. They are really, Jim said they did 23 loads today.
Wow.
Because they're not going all the way to the plant. The plant is full. So they rented a quarry in Franklin over the border. And so that's where they're hauling to. So as of the 15th, they had taken 3,374 tons. So I don't know, at that rate, maybe they'll be done early,
Yeah, they will be.
and that'll be good. Municipal building parking, we've begun to eliminate some of the problem areas. I don't know if you noticed that spot that jutted out at that end of the building. We opened that up. We took the curb out across the way so that it would open it up a lot more. We've had people cut their tires on that curb because of the way it's made. It kind of comes in and then goes back out. And so the highway guys did that. Now that they've got the tamper working, they're gonna tamp that down, and it'll look a lot better.
What about backside, Debbie? The old loading dock, I don't think we really use that anymore, eh?
What's that?
The old loading dock in the back, and then start clearing that out, get rid of that horse in there, put some
Yeah, we've
stone in
been,
there.
we've been working at that too.
Eventually someday it'd be nice to be able to pave it.
Nice to have a cold storage building back there.
That would,
Yeah, it would, for sure.
yeah.
Protect our equipment.
Yep.
So we agree with you.
Down the road, we gotta get other stuff fixed first. Okay, and I have a few others. Pickleball courts. There's only one company in Vermont, New Hampshire, and northern New York that does pickleball courts. And they are 2 years behind in bookings. So we will not be getting our pickleball court resurfaced this year. They've got me on the list. If somebody cancels, they slide other people in. So we're on the list, but there used to be two, and one of them went out of business. I don't see how, because everybody's making
putting
their
them in?
tennis courts into pickleball courts, but, so,
It's pretty big all over the place.
yeah. So, we won't be getting pickleball courts resurfaced, so treat them gently, ignore the scuffs until we can get them done.
No, nobody in New York State does that.
Nope. Not in northern, I mean, down by the city, but then you're gonna be paying
Yeah.
transportation. And they, right now, mileage from, like the guys that come up, do our scales, they get about $10 a mile.
I wonder if it would hurt to check around like the other towns, like if anybody else is in need of it, maybe if we do get somebody down here and eat the cost of the travel, and then they come up and do them all in a week or something.
I could check,
Worth
see
a
if
try, you know what I mean? If
see if there's any
anybody
other
else
towns
in the county
that,
that is
Mhm.
looking to do it, and they're in the same boat, you reach out a little bit further, and
I've-
companies will be willing to come up and do it.
I've seen, some of the ones that I've looked at that are in the bigger areas, like Syracuse and Rochester and whatnot, they don't put surfaces on, they have like a mat that they lay down, which would not work for us, because I mean, those are in places where, it's kind of like covered in the wintertime. Yeah, it's, because I talked to them last year and they said, we'll call, you know, in the spring, so I called earlier this year and I kind of got a runaround, and so they finally told me why I've been getting the runaround, is that, they've just been double booked because, the other company. So,
Crazy.
I didn't think they were that special, but apparently they are. I know last month I said that I was gonna get something on our website for the, requesting committee members for the comprehensive plan. I just haven't gotten to it. Too much has happened between then and now, and so my apologies, but I will try my best to get that on as soon as possible. What else? I'll talk about that later. Oh, the rubber mulch is in at Taylor Rental, so
Good.
Mark's gonna go
We'll get that
get it.
tomorrow, yeah.
Okay.
We'll bring a guy with him in the trailer and we'll
Is,
make 2 runs.
now is, so I'll have to get with Brandon so he can coordinate with the wrestling team too. Because we had, the NAC wrestling team was looking for a community service project. And so Brandon suggested to them to spread the mulch. So that would save all of us that spread it last year.
That needs a little, McCain definitely needs some cleaning up before they put mulch down.
And those guys can do that too.
Yeah.
They can weed it and then put the
Rake it
mulch.
around, get the weeds out of it, and then.
When they do Lime Mountain, they're gonna put that barrier down, or?
No, because it's on sand and
Yeah.
there's nothing growing through that sand. We went and checked it out, and so
Perfect.
it's a good surface for it. We'll put
Stable
so
pond.
another ton is gonna go to Emmett King Park. There's gonna be 2 tons brought up to Lime Mountain. We got 7 tons going to the beach playground. If we don't need all of it there, we can supplement. I think 2 tons will do Lime Mountain. We did the measurements. And I think 2 tons will do it up there. But if not, we can always take some from the beach. The Emmett King Park is gonna be green, and Lime Mountain and Beach is gonna put blue.
Okay.
Mix it up.
Perfect.
The next time we have to buy some, we'll get a different color. Get them all mixed up in there. Okay, well, I can save that for later. All right, new business. New business. Vandalism on the beach update. It's being repaired as we speak. I need to get an approval on the
Estimate.
estimate. We got an estimate for 7,500. It was, I called around and there was only one place that was able to even do it before the end of June. And they happened to be the cheapest place too. So, for 7,500, let's see, 2 sinks, 3 doors, 2 windows, plumbing, electrical boxes, and then labor, of course, labor. They did find one of the toilets was cracked too, that they couldn't see. Yeah. Well, I think when they went over the wall into the ladies' side, they landed, they stepped on one of the toilets because they found that was cracked today. So, but they're going to do the cleanup, remove all the broken glass. We've had people call and say, no, can't we get on the playground? Can't we get on the beach? And we told them, we can't really stop them because everybody walks in, but, there is broken glass around, so until we get that glass up and make sure that we've, basically they're gonna be shop vacuuming the lawn to make sure there's no glass And, you know, Billy told him if it was me, I wouldn't let my kids go play there with the chance that there could be some broken glass, but,
Well, it's one thing that, if we know there's broken glass, and then a child does get hurt, then it's
yeah. So,
actually on us, because we've allowed a person to go into that thing when there's a hazard that could hurt someone, so I think that's the right thing to do, let's get it cleaned up first and then open it up.
so hopefully, they're supposed to be done, they intend to be done by tomorrow night. So, we should be able to open for the holiday weekend.
Nice.
Has anybody suggested putting cameras up there so that,
Oh, yeah.
Process.
Yeah, we're looking at trying to find the right thing to put there because internet's not close enough. We have internet at the sign, but we'd have to run internet into the actual, you know, to the building, and so we'd need to either lay the line underneath or put poles in, and so that's not really feasible. We also have, so cellular we can do, and then it's, then we have a power issue, so we're looking at ones that have solar panels on them, to run them, and to have something that also will give us the ability to have it notify us. So I've looked at about 15 different companies, and then Joey sent a suggestion for Moultrie.
Edge.
And so that's, I haven't had a chance to even look at those yet. But
I got
will.
2 of those, and I'll tell you, they're just amazing how they work. You get they're that quick, and they pick up the strongest tower,
Mhm.
AT&T or Verizon. And,
Are they batteries in it, or is it?
well, you can get a battery or you can get a solar panel. I sent you two versions, but a battery, it's rechargeable from NICAD, and it lasts almost 5 months.
It's
So,
just wherever we put them, I mean, because we'd kind of like to hide them, so
you're
if
gonna
they're
have to,
someplace
or put
high.
'em where they can't reach them.
Right, and so
Just
then we
angle
gotta,
them down.
then you have to deal with changing batteries, but,
Yeah, but I did send you one with a solar
Yeah.
panel.
okay.
I don't know if anybody else has any suggestions on how we can, Alan, the device you have in your maple syrup building with the antennas, does that pull off a signal?
yeah, it's a cell booster. So Wilson, manufacturing, it's a cell phone booster.
So that might be
Yeah.
another avenue.
Well, we get great cell, we don't use cell
Yeah,
booster,
that's
because
just
we
to get
get,
better
we
cell
got no
service.
problem with cell service, we get 5 bars at, you know,
Oh, okay.
because you can see the towers,
Yeah, with the tower right here.
but,
I had to put that there because I have halfway point between me and here
Yeah.
at the shore.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate, and then we also heard that they could have tried to start a fire inside the building.
Did they catch any
no.
leads?
Yeah, and I mean, in the same vein, depending on what we get, if it's, you know, cellular, we can also put one in Emmeking Park, and we can put one up in, Phillips. I mean,
Personally, I think we should put 1 or 2, all of our town buildings too, like the chlorination plant, the sewer plant, I mean,
Mhm.
there's some pretty expensive stuff up there, and,
Yeah,
I mean, should be one at the entrance door or something, people, I know there's vandalism up at the chlorination plant a couple of years back or something,
mhm,
that wouldn't be a bad idea, I mean,
That's sad.
yeah,
especially when it's up in the middle of, up in the middle of the mountain there,
yeah,
you don't know who's up there, you know,
mhm.
wouldn't be a bad idea.
So we're working on it. In the meantime, I'm hoping to get something temporary up there by Friday. There's some solar ones that I can get that are not great, but they're usable, and you know, something's better than nothing. And at least it would activate and send somebody a signal that somebody's there. So it's not the best quality, because we find even our cameras here, which we need to upgrade, it's very hard to even pick up a license plate. So,
Actually, you should just go into that next subject about the license plate. While you're at it.
oh, Oh, what happened back
Yeah.
here?
Yeah,
Well, you saw on the Facebook page, most of you, about what happened back here. And it was just somebody who deposited some human waste back here between the buildings, and
and we have the facial picture,
mhm.
which is nice, but so far no one has come forward to say, oh,
I know that
who
guy.
is."
Yeah.
So, and it's a good picture. Good picture. Unfortunately, the car, like to Debbie's point, you can see the gold colored license plate, but when you go to zoom in, it's just too grainy. You can't make out the license plate. You can kind of figure out what the car is, but boy, the facial recognition of that guy is just as clear as can be. So hopefully someone will know who it is.
Did you ever contact the cops or you didn't?
I haven't yet, no. And we had one person that sent Zach Babby a note that she thought she saw him at the hospital, and the car matched, and she got the first 3 letters of his license plate. So I don't want to send him on a wild goose chase either. I mean,
They probably have the technology to make that picture nice and clean.
Unfortunate.
And with the cameras, we maybe could set up, just get a camera, if somebody donated a camera that no longer works, and kind of just a little bit hide it, set up a decoy for
Yeah,
people.
I see it. You're
So if
like,
they
oh.
want to destroy something, they can destroy the decoy.
yeah,
Have the other camera watching.
Right, yeah.
camera watching the cameras.
Put the
Yeah.
real one somewhere else.
But we are working out to answer that question. Lifeguards. We have 3 returning lifeguards that were hired, that worked last year. And we only need 2 more. We've had 4 other applicants, 3 from the town, so they would take priority. We only need 2. So I'm thinking that we hire the 2, we hire 2 of them. 2 of them are brother and sister, so we don't necessarily want to hire both of them and leave somebody else out. And they're 2 years apart in age, so the older one really should be hired. And then, but I'd like to get the other one in a rotation.
Yeah.
Like have if we have lifeguards that are qualified, but they just don't have a job somewhere. Because we've been through years where we've had to hire all of our lifeguards from out of town because we haven't had any in town. So I'd like to get experience on the ones who live in town, at least, if they can't work all summer, at least, give them an opportunity to see what it's like and what's going on, so if that's meets your, if everyone, next month we'll have I'll have all the names and the rate of pay. The rate of pay is $15.
They will all apply through an application process.
Yep.
Okay. Very good.
So, next month we'll approve them.
Okay.
The highway superintendent position, as we discussed earlier, we need a resolution
Not
to,
to interrupt you, just go back one, did you need a motion for that?
oh yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
yeah, I do, please.
I was gonna ask you if I forgot to start talking about it.
Well, we got off on a tangent there.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to go forward with the repairs and damages at the beach for estimate amount of $7,500.
Seconded.
Any more discussion on that? Roll call, Jason,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Joey.
Yep.
Deb, yes. Okay, thank you, Jason.
Yep.
Okay, so the local, how this procedure works is that the board has a, I don't know what I want to call it. They have a draft, a proposed local law that we'll have a public hearing for next month, because it's just like any other law. We will advertise it we'll have a public hearing next month. We will have the entirety of the law, this is the whole law, right here. The entirety of the law will be in the article, the legal that goes in the paper. But it's pretty cut and dry. Let's see if I can read what's pertinent here. The office of Town Highway Superintendent for Town of Dannemore is now and has always been elective in order to give the town board of the Town of Dannemore more authority to guide and manage the considerable sum of highway department funds that the taxpayers have entrusted the town board with, and to determine and enforce the required working hours and work-related qualifications and roles of the highway superintendent. It is in the best interest of the town for the office of highway superintendent to be an appointive rather than elective office under direction of the town board. Such change is subject to a mandatory referendum, which means it's going to be on the ballot. Therefore, a proposition on the local law shall be placed on the November 5th, 2024 general election ballot, which allows the electors of the town of Dannemore to decide if they wish to have an appointed rather than elected highway superintendent. This is wording from the state. And then the appointed highway superintendent in the town of Dannemore will serve until such time that the individual resigns, retires, or is otherwise unable to continue in the position, or the town board through due process relieves the individual of their position due to their inability or unwillingness to perform the duties of a highway superintendent. The local law shall be effective upon filing with the Department of State after approval by a majority of the electors voting thereon in accordance with the requirements. So basically, it would not take effect until January 1st, 2026. But this whole law will be in there, and the proposition that would be on the ballot would be, and they put it in a question, which is a little strange, but it's, shall a local law adopted by the town board of the town of Dannemore, County of Clinton, entitled Local Law whatever of 2024, a local law changing the office of the highway superintendent from elective to appointed in the town of Dannemore be approved, thereby abolishing the position of elected town highway superintendent effective December 31st, 2025, and establishing the new position of appointed town highway superintendent effective January 1st, 2026, question mark. So that's what would be on the ballot. The effect of the law would be to abolish the elected position and create the appointed position. And it would supersede any other laws as far as terms of office, that kind of thing. So that will, we need to make a resolution to schedule the public hearing for next board meeting, which is the 26th of
26,
June.
right?
At about 4:45, is that enough time?
I don't.
You want to do 4:30?
Let's do 4:30, yeah.
Okay, so 4:30. And then we can just say that the regular board meeting will follow directly after.
Yep.
Okay, well, I'll make that motion to schedule the public hearing concerning the local law changing the office of highway superintendent from elected to appointed in the town of Dannemora for June 26th at 4:30.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Next one, JCEO. I'm not sure if we had discussed this at the last board meeting, I can't remember now, but JCEO office is going to be moved from the village to this building. We've got,
That all happened after our meeting.
The- okay. So for various reasons, in the best interest of the town and JCEO to move them out of the village offices into this building. So we've cleared out the way back, what we call the storage room that back there. They've come and looked at it, JCEO's come and looked at it. They think it's wonderful. I was concerned it'd be a little small, but they said, have you been in Ellenberg's? Because she can reach everything from her desk. It's like in a closet. So they love it. We'll have them back there. They can all go in that side door back there. There's enough space there between the generator and the building where when they get the summer food drops, the fresh food drops, we have tables, we can set them up right out there. They're very pleased with the size and the fact that they could move. It was becoming very unhospitable for JCEO to be there.
And pricey.
And pricey.
Pricey.
And we weren't aware, they were being charged rent to be there. And nobody else in Clinton and Franklin County charges rent for their outreaches to be where they are, because it's a service to the community, so you want them there.
It wasn't like it was something that we did and said, no, we're gonna come up here now. It was
Yeah.
kind of didn't really have much choice, and we needed to find a good location for the town to benefit all the town taxpayers.
And they were looking too, by the way, so it's not like, we reached out to them. Once we heard about the situation that was happening in the village, we just got together and said, listen, this is not right, what's happening to a very important supporter of our community. What can we do as a town board to make it a better win-win for the entire community and for JCEO? And that's what we decided to do.
Where were they?
They were
Community center.
in the village offices down,
By the
Street.
The old-
Emmett Street, and so.
the old Catholic school. That's where I can put it. And their other alternative was to just was to completely leave Dannemora and just go to Saranac. So,
Which would pull them away from our community here.
and it'll be more, we've already set, this is the center of the town if you look at a map, and so people from, it'd be easier for people from the Lime, from the hamlet, and, the village, whether they come here, whether they go to Saranac, it depends. It's really unfortunate because